Hi guys, welcome back to part 3 of What Remains of Edith Finch. In the last episode we did a lot of people. We got through Barbara, we got through Sam, we got through Walter, and then unfortunately we got through Gus, who was only 11 when he died, and poor Gregory, who was only 1. We also learned that Edith is pregnant. Dun dun dun! So today hopefully we'll learn about Edie and Lewis and Milton. Milton is the guy who went missing. Lewis I'm not sure about yet. So hopefully we will find out about these people. Let's get to it. Right, so when we left off, we was here. We just finished the mum's classroom, Dawn. Dawn Finch, not Dawn French. And we learned that she moved to India with Sanjay, and then she came back and built a classroom. And then that was that, really. So let's have a little look around. I'm also sporting the chicken hat today, because you know I love a wacky hat and everything. If you want to be part of the wacky hat crew, the Discord link will be below. Right. So have a little look-see in here. Looks a bit like a chapel. We'll go with a painting room.
I think
cool.
Edie was happy to finally have another painter in the family.
So it seems like Edie is the heart, the soul of the family. And I imagine this girl that we're playing as was named after her, whoever so Edie. I don't know if it's her aunt, her nan. So this is Milton. Milton just went missing, I believe. We never knew that he died. We never knew that where he went, basically, as far as I'm aware. But let's find out some more.
Milton Finch in The Magic Paintbrush.
I love this stuff. This is so cool. Oh, and then it stops. I wonder if that's a clue. Nope, that's just Milton.
I was 4 when Milton disappeared.
Okay. Is that it for Milton? Felt like that was a little bit anticlimactic. Look at this guy's work. And we just see him do a little sketch pad.
Mom spent months searching for my brother.
That was it.
Then she sealed the doors.
Is that it? Months? She spent months finding your brother, and then she sealed the doors. This family needs some real good talking to when it comes to like
whatever Milton had found
children.
in the house, Mom didn't want it getting out.
Unbelievable. No, I've got to go around again. Unbelievable. Months. Is that all they spent looking for him? And then they was like, meh, he gone. He dead. I'd like to think that someone would look for me a bit
Mom
longer.
definitely blamed Edie, but I think Lewis blamed himself. After he graduated, he just spent more and more time in his room. Until Mom got him a job at the cannery.
And then everyone ate salmon for the rest of their lives. I must admit, I don't think this is quite a safe place for a woman who's 22 weeks pregnant to be. Like, we've all witnessed that weird things happen to this family.
Lewis's room smelled very, very familiar. That part of him lived on.
Oh. He was the ganja man. No wonder Lewis ain't here. He probably floated away. Oh.
Dear Mrs. Finch, as Lewis's psychiatrist, I can understand your desire for an explanation. As I see it, the trouble began in January, shortly after we convinced your son to seek treatment for substance abuse. Newly sober, I believe Lewis first noticed the monotony of his daily life.
Oh, savage.
He kept working at the cannery, but he withdrew part of himself. In our sessions, I saw the same behavior.
Misty.
His mind began to wander.
I wonder if I can just put a tiny bit in
I
there.
asked him to describe it. He said he started small, imagining a labyrinth. He'd feel his way about.
Problem is that one
Then something
hand's...
moved. Bats.
He's gonna end up
And
chopping his
toads.
hands off in a minute.
And things that have not names.
He's
He knew
honestly
it was all
gonna
in his head.
hang himself.
But he took it very seriously. I had hoped he'd find himself.
Oh, I'll put that one back. Let me grab that one. That was meant to be up there. Any more fish? Give me that fish. Can I just put it
But
out
he
there?
found something more.
Oh, it turned into
I
3D
worried
now.
about him then. Daydreaming at the cannery.
He's gonna lose his hand. I'm not ready for this. I'm not ready for our man to lose his hand. But it's coming.
I spoke with his boss. But he said Lewis had become a model employee. Methodical, tireless, focused.
You're gonna lose his hand.
Like a
I
whole
ain't
new
ready.
Lewis. So I let him go on.
Here we go, he's gonna fall off a cliff. No?
I even encouraged him. It seemed very promising at first. He told me he'd made a new friend.
Come on, new friend.
On the edge of a city he named Lewis Topia. He built the city up slowly, brick by brick.
Alright,
Then he made musicians.
I think this is a little bit past substance abuse now.
And songs for them to play. He talked about starting a band. And he was always humming something. Every day his imagination grew stronger.
He's gonna hurt himself. I'm not ready for it.
He no longer spoke at the cannery.
He didn't need to. He had a whole nother world
But
in
his
his head.
chopping was as reliable as ever. Then one day it struck him that all the cheering crowds, even the stones under his feet, were all in his imagination,
Well, yeah.
so he could do whatever he wished. He held an election for mayor. And he won. They begged him to stay, but his mind was already wandering.
Where are we off to now on your little boat?
It became a game for him.
Oh, it's still got. There's a build up on fish here, Lewis. Hang on, mate.
He'd conquer a city, then immediately push on.
Meow.
New Lewis.
Oh. What's the next one going to be called? Newer Louisville.
St. Louis.
Oh, St. Louis. Obviously, I'm sorry.
He started drifting away from our reality. Minneapolis. Until one day he forgot to go home from the cannery.
I mean, he forgot
Even
to go
as his
home.
mother pleaded with him, part of Lewis kept sailing on.
Lewis, my friend, I think you're having a breakdown.
In Lewisburg, he heard rumors of a...
Oh. We're going to go with Beautiful Prince.
beautiful prince.
Meow. I wonder if his name is Sanjay.
The prince was on his own quest for...
We're going to go Sinister Serpents.
sinister serpents.
Oh.
He followed the sound of his...
We're going to go with Electric Sitar. You know, sounds a little bit
electric
more...
sitar.
More this man. In fact, he has his own theme song.
His chase led him to a golden palace east of the sun and west of the moon.
Can we stop saying
Even
it?
then, his logic remained
Oh.
sound. He knew the world was all in his imagination.
Love the fact that we're still working at the cannery at the same time as doing this. Getting more and more.
But he was so proud of having created it. In his own eyes, he'd become something greater than a king.
An emperor. Oh. Save. What are you, Lewis? Other than delusional.
For someone who'd never known success in the real world, I think it was overwhelming.
I can feel that.
And then it struck him that the real Lewis was not the one chopping salmon, but the one climbing the steps of a golden palace.
Yeah, I don't know.
My imagination is as real as my body, he told me.
Yeah?
It was hard to argue with him.
I love this little door. Where are we now? Because that's some mighty fine doors for this restroom. Oh, we're at the cannery again. Right. Oh, there's blood on the floor. This is the Ganjaman's Imperial Palace. Yeah, I could do a Chinese.
He began to forget the world we know. I think it pained him to remember Lewis, the cannery worker.
Probably, if you're, you know, an emperor and a king. And then you come to this.
He began to despise the man with a royal contempt.
Oh, that is him now. He's not very well, is he? Dude, you meant to grab the fish? It's pretty rough working conditions though, right? Should we go up the escalator?
I still thought I could save
I was meant
him.
to.
Even after he said he was being crowned king over all the lands of wonder. The palace would be packed with his companions.
See, Mr. Chicken, it's a good stream to come into. We're about to go see someone being crowned. We're going to do the
Including the wise Calico who'd insisted on advising me.
Well, I'm going to say he imagines things in a, 360p instead of 1080. These guys don't even have faces.
His prince waited, holding his crown. There was only one thing left to do. Bend down his head.
No. Really? This is how it ends. He's just chopping his own head off at the
And the rest I
cannery.
think you know. Mrs.
Really?
Finch, your son was a kind man who will be missed by all of us who knew him.
Whoa.
My brother was really cool. I wish you could have met him.
I think we should call him Nick. Nearly headless Nick. Well, no, I suppose he is fully headless Nick. This family.
Lewis and I spent a lot of time playing games together, but he was surprisingly bad at them.
Oh, really?
He died a lot.
Well. So you got a high school diploma for? I don't know. Poor little guy. So who we got left? Edie, I believe. Just Edie left. Let's go find out.
On the way back from Lewis's funeral, my mom told me to start packing. She waited until the day before we left to tell Edie.
So we literally left Edie behind.
I'm not sure if she wanted to make it easier or harder.
Poor Edie.
I wish we'd stayed.
So do I. I've only known you for an hour and a half.
But I understand why we left.
Oh, does Edie? Poor girl. She wasn't exactly young, was she?
My mom ended up leaving everything behind.
Including Edie.
What happened that night had been coming for a long time. Maybe it should have come sooner. But it had to end one way or another.
This room is the
All that's
bollocks.
left now is to tell you about that last night.
You're probably due a sit down. Edith Finch.
That whole last day, Edie just watched us pack and didn't say a word.
Poor Edie.
Until supper, when she raised her glass and said,
"To our final night together, and all our final nights apart."
Grandma, you know what I said about alcohol. Some of your medications are very
Edith,
specific.
I left a present for you in the hallway. Why don't you go open it? The grown-ups have to argue now.
I'm sorry, you're right. We're all leaving tomorrow. Let's just enjoy our last...
I'm not leaving.
Edith, you're excused.
Oh.
the power had been shut off that morning, but Edie always had plenty of candles. When my mom sealed the library, I don't think she knew about the other entrance, or that Edie had a key to it.
What was the point of sealing the doors if there's
The
entrances?
thing you're afraid of isn't going to end when you leave the house. Edith has a right to know these stories.
My children are dead because of your stories. I think it's best if Edith and I leave tonight.
Well, obviously the stories are real though, aren't they? They're not just stories.
We'll have the nursing home send a van for you in the morning.
The savage?
Dear Edith, there's so many stories I wish I could tell you, but there's only time for one. This is about what happened on the night you were born.
Okay.
That night, the tide went way, way out.
Not just out. Way, way
It
out.
was the first and last time I ever saw the old house aground. There'd been an earthquake out in the middle of the ocean.
Okay.
They called it the lowest tide in 1,000 years. God, it smelled awful. You know, I've seen that house every day of my life.
Bless her.
But I never thought I'd go back to it. When the fog rolled in, I lost my way.
That's not good. Can't lose your way. With Grandma
I
Edie.
got turned around.
Come on, Grandma Edie, we can make it.
For a while, I wandered.
We can make it,
I
Grandma
started
Edie.
seeing things.
Oh, it's the deer that killed Sam. Are we going down a history walk?
Things I'd forgotten had ever existed.
Okay.
But when I saw them, they felt like old friends. That night, a lot of things came back to me. Or maybe I came back to them.
Yeah. I love the way that we still got to use a gate. It's been washed away for like 100 years. But we're still going to use a gate.
Things I can't explain, but that I need you to try and...
Edith, what are you doing in here?
It's mine.
Edith!
Mom, you're gonna rip it. Let go. I kicked and screamed, but Mom dragged me to the car.
I was enjoying that story.
I never saw Great Grandma Edie again.
Edie.
The next morning, the van came to pick her up, but she was already gone. After that, we moved around a lot.
These people need to be taught parroting. My hand is a dolphin. My hand is a
We
dolphin.
both tried to make the best of it.
My hand is a dolphin. Look at me swim. Look at me swim.
A few years went by.
Achoo. COVID.
My mom didn't like to talk about it. But she started getting sick a lot.
Oh, there it
The
is.
rest happened pretty quickly.
Oh, savage.
She got better for a while, and then she didn't.
Bless her.
And then I was alone. The last Finch left alive. Until I found out about you. I'm still not sure what to tell you about all this. If we lived forever, maybe we'd have time to understand things. But as it is, I think the best we can do is try to open our eyes. And appreciate how strange and brief all of this is. This journal was supposed to be for you,
Okay, this is weird.
but now I hope you'll never see it. I just want to meet you and tell you all these stories myself.
Somehow I think we're gonna meet
I
you.
guess if you're reading this now, things didn't work out that way.
Okay.
This is where your story begins. I'm sorry I won't be there to see it. It's a lot to ask, but I don't want you to be sad that I'm gone. I want you to be amazed that any of us ever had a chance to be here at all. Good luck.
Okay. How did Edith die? Well, guys, I think that's it. That's quite a touching tribute. I'm saving. Quite like the music to this, you know. So I'm just going to let these credits play through a minute in case there's anything hidden in them, or, you know, it gives me a bit more of an idea of the story. Annapurna Interactive. Well guys, that was a great game. It was short though, that was the only issue that I would say about it. They could have done more with that. But the game itself I thought was pretty good. I guess we'll never know what happened to the Edith Finch we was playing as. She didn't last long, so maybe she died in the house, I'm not sure. Obviously we have young Finch now. Call him Stephen. And I guess Stephen is the only Finch left and the only one with the curse. Well, thank you all for joining. I shall put all my links below. If you would like to watch me on Twitch, I stream Monday, Wednesday, Friday and Sunday, 7 PM UK time. My YouTube has always got videos to catch up on, and I hope to see you guys again. Thank you, and stay wacky.